Okay, folks, welcome back to Let's Play Starflight. I'm Mysterious JG. Had a little scare with that last video. There's a reason I don't like to save in the middle. I was tempted to do it by hitting that one planet where they told us that there were sentient, flying, flesh-devouring plants. But, yeah, I got an error message from Camtasia telling me that the rendering failed. And as happened with the Castlevania video, I went in and looked, and it makes a folder where it dumps the files that it made during the failed recording process, and the pieces were there for me to put it together manually. But that doesn't always happen. Usually if I get that message, a rendering failed message, the system sounds are there, but the video capture is not. So probably has something to do with the size of the files, like a half-an-hour recording of an old DOS game or an NES game from an emulator, much smaller file size than the capture from something bigger. But still, man, the quality is so much higher than what I was getting with my other recorder, but this is killing me, this occasional just recording blows up thing. Anyway, folks, yeah, don't know why I'm bothering you with the boring details of that, but what I'm getting at here is that we didn't lose the last video, but they gave me a bit of a scare. So, same rules in effect as last time. If video cuts off without me signing off, it's because I suddenly and unexpectedly had to stop. But we're going to, what do we want to do here? We could attempt to, I really don't feel like talking to the Tandaloo. We've got more information to get out of them, but this is not a leisurely video for me. I want to get as much done as I can quickly because I'm worried about game. That was a surprise. Well, I was saying that I wanted to talk to the that I wanted to get as much done as I could, possibly buy. I was thinking, well, maybe we will do the trade route again with the TLV, if we can get more Tandaluvian Happy Juice. But now I'm like, well, I want to go because we just saved, so let's go to the planet where there are sentient aliens who will eat you, and see what happens when we go to visit them. Because I'm curious. How did the Humna Humna determine they were sentient in the first place? I mean, apparently from space they were able to scan and determine that these guys had, like, built dwellings and some level of technology, but if there's Stone Age technology, I don't know how the Humna Humna would really, you know, how do you determine that something with Stone Age technology is sentient? Yeah, I guess there's people who specialize in drawing these distinctions, but if they're like attack on sight guys and you can't communicate with them at all, and they're not even going to attempt to communicate with you, then I would think it's difficult to determine that they're sentient. That looks like the guys who shot pew-pews at us before. And they're shooting pew-pews. I was going to try to hail them, see if you hail them fast enough to... Wow, they shoot a lot of pew-pews. They don't waste time getting those pew-pews in the air. Or the vacuum of space. Hey, there's a flux. Is this the right system? Yeah, it's the right system. Nitrogen and oxygen, 4 times Earth gravity, very thick atmosphere, violent weather. Humans couldn't even live here. The Durdeshti, industrial level of technology. Interesting. Race of flying carnivorous plants, their policy of immediately devouring other sentient forms has kept them from being very popular. Okay, so they do have industrial level of technology. They're just eat other species on sight. So I really don't see how we're going to get anything good out of this, but I just saved, which means that I can quit and load, and we'll just have the fun experience of visiting these guys. The TV lifeform shield is active. Some Durdeshti in a vehicle. And there's a little town up here. Hello! We are here to visit you. The ground is shaking and rumbling. Ruby Malone is injured. Fuck you, ground! Okay, here's some kind of life form. And well, these are the actual local species are flyers, so they probably don't care, but we have been hit with chemical projectile of some sort by the Dirdashti. Okay, so they actually start attacking us. Alright. I'm going to load my game just because I just wanted to see what happens. They attack on sight, so they'll probably kill my crew. If I hung around, I could have gotten out of that, safely and just left, but it looks like there's no good to be had from... Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have quit. I should have fired back and seen what happened if you could blow them up. Well, at any rate, so there's nothing to be gained by visiting. I just wanted to see what happens. And in fact, they do not eat you because they are in vehicles. They don't just fly up to you and eat you, but they do start attacking you on sight. So, yeah, apparently they know about aliens and stuff. The Humna Humna must have tried to make diplomatic contact with them and, of course, failed. So, yeah. Maybe we'll get around to going back and trying to attack them just to see what happens. I should have done that before I quit. But the point was, since we knew no good was going to come out of it, and I was just curious as to what happens when you visit. And they had normal-looking houses, and yeah, there was actually no point. The fuel that we spent by going over there was wasted. Although there was a flux there that I should have checked out. Anyway, once again, I don't really feel like... We could see if there's Tandaluvian Happy Juice to be bought, but you know what? Screw it. I don't feel like dealing with that. Let's go upspin and try to find the Dweenle and see if we can buy some god masks to sell to the Tandaloo. There was also something about a species that sold delightful fungus chews. But we'll get to that later. I mean, there's more trade routes in this game than you could possibly need to exploit. 54,104. There's a lot of ways to potentially make money in this game. If you just want to go out and make money, and you find that part of the game to be fun by itself without worrying too much about the plot, certainly there's more varied and interesting ways to do it than there are in Starflight 1. And while there is a plot in this game, there's nothing like... The Spemen are not going to, as far as I know, ever invade Arth. So there is a built-in time limit in Starflight. Eventually your home system, the sun, will flare and destroy your species if you don't deal with the crystal planets soon enough. But there's no threat like that in this game. You can take your time. And this is the Tarn, Stone Age species with an inflated economy. They like to bargain. Mysterious race of radially symmetrical creatures. Tarn do not eat or photosynthesize. Their only activity consists of sitting and listening to Tealvian singing beetles. They sell screech harps. They buy singing beetles. Okay, so the next time we go to visit the TLV, we can buy singing beetles to sell these guys if we have money left over after buying Livelong. In the meantime, I don't know who to sell screech harps to, and although it would be fun to go see another Ascension species, it's just going to be generic trader dialogue and a little picture of them. So I don't know if it's really worth the time of visiting them if we don't have specific business to conduct. But we will remember, this system here at 55,105 is a place to sell products that we picked up from the TOV. So now we've got two systems, two yellow systems over there around about 1055. They're both kind of over there in that general area. And I'm thinking one of those might be Dweenle. X2Y-1. I don't feel like checking that out. We're too close to the cloud. could be the Umanu. Memory, I do not remember ever being able to communicate with the Umanu. Well, alright, scratch that. I'm not going to dwell on it, except to say that I don't think until very close to the end of the game and a lot of plot stuff has happened, we're going to know very much about the Umanu. What we know about them now is that they apparently used to be friends with the Loar and betrayed them. And what we know about the Loar is that they were plants. That's pretty much what we know about the Loar. And they made Gorzek. So that's about the extent of our knowledge of the Loar. Motion detected. Nuclear launch detected. Oh, this planet is inhabited. And temperate to searing. Oh, it's a Humna planet. Spacefaring. They like to bargain. Exceptionally talented. They sell fry whale laser cookies and data crystals. They don't buy the same stuff as the other Humna. All Humna worlds, they all buy live long. But these guys don't want delightful fungus chews for some reason. That's weird. So I could not sell these guys delightful fungus chews. I would assume that it's just something that as a species they enjoy. Frankly, there's nothing from them that I want to buy, which means that there's nothing... Like, I've got a little bit of live long, I'm holding on to it for a rainy day. There's no reason to sell it to those guys. Because there's nothing that I would want to butter them up before purchasing. And this planet is not habitable. And the odds that there were going to be two habitable planets in the same system, and that the Humna would only have settled on one, were of course pretty remote. So, okay, haven't found the Dweenle yet. And that's pretty much our objective in this video, more or less. If we have time, we'll find the Dweenle, and then make our way to the Dweenle, and also make our way back to the Tandaloo in the same video and sell them god masks. But I'm thinking that what we get accomplished in this video is probably going to be, if we're lucky, finding the Dweenle. Chiffa. Chiffa pets. They don't like to trade either. A race of highly prolific, small, furry creatures with long, upright ears and puffy tails. Extremely aggressive. They will swarm to any heat source and attack. Recommend caution. So, no trading. It's another one that I need to come back and visit sometime just for funsies. But, the game keeps labeling planets as inhabited by sentient life forms, and then this is like what I was talking about, Stone Age. So you wouldn't think that if they just attack on sight and they don't have advanced technology, you wonder how the Humna even determined they were sentient, but whatever. So, okay. The Dweenle were supposed to have 3 planets, so I guess it's got to be the really upspin ones. It has to be 12205. It has to be 54195, and I guess 91211 have got to be their worlds, because I remember hearing that they had 3, and we've checked just about everywhere else that it makes sense for them to be. So yeah, we're gonna blow a lot of shinium on this trip, but I guess we will check 12205 first. Be a great place to find some. That's probably a Humna ship. Which, you know, there's more information we could get of them. I don't know why I didn't think to go back and chat with them, but at this point we've moved far enough afield that it would be tough to find them. It'd be really nice to find some fluxes that would get me into Dweenle territory faster. There almost certainly are some, and I could get a map off the interwebs that would tell me where they are, but we'll eventually get a flux scanner which will show us where nearby fluxes are on our map. And unlike in Starflight, where there's something like that I didn't seem to be able to get to work, hopefully this will work. The Dweenle lived on ice worlds, so this one might be it. but it isn't. I didn't mean to do that. 9 times Earth's gravity, subarctic temperatures. This is not a planet we will be recommending for colonization. Although I think we've already established that recommending planets for colonization does not make you money as fast as selling Live Long to the Humna Humna does. I got class 5 shields and armor out of one Humna Humna run. Live Long run. But I think this must be a Dweenle system because we've got motion detected. Now you notice those numbers are much bigger than the ones that you see when you're out in hyperspace. Take that, subspace. I don't know exactly what the distances are, but it means that they're in the system here. And they don't seem to be protecting their planet. Oh, okay, so this is the Dweenle. Inhabited by the Dweenle. Spacefaring, moderate population density. Economy is depressed. They bargain a little. Small, pallid, biped race. Perhaps the oldest surviving race in this sector. They have no personality or culture to speak of. They will sell lovely glort blorbs and nutripods. And they will buy amuso balls, peacock trees, and scaly blue hoppers. They don't sell god masks. We want god masks. This has actually been a waste. Visiting this system has actually been a bit of a waste. However, we're now in their region of space, so if we encounter them in space, we can talk to them. If I encounter them on the planet, even if I've never encountered them in space before, we won't really learn anything useful. We'll just get trade talk going. So I'm not going to go hunting for any more inhabitable worlds until I have the system scanner, because I just think that'll make it go faster. So let's head on down to 54, 195, and see if that's where we can buy god masks. So you're around here somewhere, you spaceship that I seem to have discovered. There we go. Let's see what these guys are. That's a Dweenle ship. To transport, 0.4 times size of our ship. No shields are apparent. Weapons are not armed. And if I recall correctly from the hint book, they have class 1 armor and no weapons. These guys are not a threat. Greetings. We come in peace and wish to communicate. Please identify yourselves. That's not Duke Togo, by the way. Hold, I have a request. Alright, but don't expect me to talk too long. I'm really not feeling very well today. Oh, I know. You couldn't care less about how I feel. Excuse me for living. Do you have any information you can share with us about yourselves? You don't have to ask about us to try to make us feel good. We expect you to despise us, just like everyone else. In fact, why don't you just open fire on us now and get this over with? Yeah, thanks, buddy. If you insist, I suppose there are 1 or 2 things I could tell you about us, but it's really very depressing. Feel free to just leave if you get too bored. That's tempting. We Dweenle have been around for a very long time. In fact, it seems like forever. By all odds, we should have been wiped out millennia ago. Who knows why we survived? In fact, who cares? I would have to say that those guys from Star Control 2, who had like the masks and they would be to me very much influenced by the Dweenle. Not that I'm trying to do that voice for them. I'm trying to do Truth Be Dog, but I suck. We don't have a culture exactly. We Dweenle find it too depressing to be with each other. We don't have any art or literature because we don't have anything to express. The only reason that we trade or build spaceships is because we don't have anything better to do. The only history or tradition we have is passed along orally through song. These songs are generally so long and so depressing that no race other than the Dweenle has ever been able to listen to one all the way through without either falling asleep or becoming suicidally depressed. Oh, so they're Jethro Tull. Just kidding. Immense depression descends upon me. I can't go on. In poetic despair, I drift away. Fun guys. Guys are fun. Great to have around. Now, the Dweenle will, in fact, be desperately important in figuring out some of this game's plot, but it's going to be a while before we figure out a way to get anything useful out of these bums. This game, pretty much every race you need to talk to at some point to piece all the clues together. So let's see, 55, 54, whatever it was, 195. Like I said, yeah, Star Control 2, I think, strongly influenced by the Dweenle. There is a way to get useful information out of the Dweenle. I remember what it is, but I don't remember how you find the clues to it in-game. So we're basically just going to ignore the Dweenle until the game tells us what it is we have to do to make them useful. As is, the only thing they're useful for to us now that we're aware of is that we need them to get the god masks to sell to the Tandaloo. And that's not a game-winning step to sell the Tandaloo god masks, but it is handy because it lets you buy that artifact. And I think you can make a good profit off of it. It's not like quite as good as selling Live Long to the Humna Humna. You can make a lot of money doing that. Now here's more of these guys. Huzzah! As I recall, it doesn't matter if you're friendly, hostile, or obsequious. They always say exactly the same thing. Hold, I have requests. This is Commander Pyodum. Perhaps I should tell you that you're not going to enjoy talking to us. No one ever does. We understand. We don't enjoy talking to each other either. At one time or another, we've been slaves to almost every other race in this sector. After a while, they always give up on us. Maybe you'd like to make us into slaves too, and torture and kill us. Go ahead. Why should you be any different from the others? God. I recall playing this game years ago, not even reading their text, just sort of skimming it for anything that involved coordinates. The only other race that doesn't thoroughly despise us is the Humna Humna, and they only look down on us. That's because we provide them with the god masks which they sell to the Tandaloo. Oh, I got folks spinning the house. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.